How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. There is a bank that just is about to collapse. I want to talk about that, talk about how that affects crypto, and talk about some big news with Binance and Voyager. So if you don't mind, please hit the subscribe button underneath the video, turn on that bell notification so you know right when I post future videos, and check out the link to Patreon underneath the video in case you want to know what I'm buying and selling. There are also links down there in case you want to store your crypto on cold storage. There's a 15% off link to Trezor. There's also links to Webull and moomoo. Sign up there and get some free money. Bitcoin is looking pretty good today, which is interesting because the NASDAQ, let's see what it is right now, it was just down last time I looked. So as we can see here in the trusty Webull app, the NASDAQ is down about 1.92%. And I could pull it up here too, but you can see that there's quite the divergence where crypto is doing well and the stock market isn't looking so good. Now, something that's really interesting is FRC stock. So in the last 5 days, down 36.7%. In the last 1 day, down 49%. Now, this is a bank, First Republic Bank. Market cap is about $1.53 billion right now. And there are a couple different reasons for why it's down. Something that I find interesting is there's just an article on Tip Ranks. First Republic Bank stock, bank crisis overblown, easy earnings beat. Jim Cramer also put the nail in the coffin last month when he said that FRC was being looked at and how he said, I think his exact words were, very good bank. So pretty much put the nail in the coffin for First Republic Bank. But here they say that the stock is getting unjustifiably pounded. Just a look at First Republic's surprisingly solid financial position, you'll likely see a bargain with FRC stock. They basically talk about how they double beat. Revenue and earnings came in higher than expected. Also said that they got a lifeline. So he says here that the deposit activity began to stabilize beginning the week of March 27, 2023, and has remained stable through April 21. Also said that the company had $45.1 billion of cash and cash equivalents and unused available borrowing capacity. That's what really convinced him of First Republic's financial stability. Now, I'm not trying to single anyone out, but that was yesterday, and now the stock's down 49%. Now, this is the explanation here. They traded lower after the company announced a decline in deposits and revenue for the first quarter and said it will reduce its workforce by 20 to 25%. The company also said it would not take questions on the conference call and withdrew all previous guidance. That is a couple of really bad things in a row. First of all, reducing workforce by 20 to 25%, probably not a show of strength. Some companies are doing that anyways, cutting workforce just to become leaner, but this sounds a little bit desperate after you already say that deposits are declining. I mean, like if you have a 5-person office, that's one person at every office that they're cutting. They also said that they won't take any questions, so really don't want to get into any more than what they say. They're being very cautious, and they withdrew all previous guidance, basically saying we have no idea what's going to happen moving forward, so we're not going to provide that. Now, looking at their actual financials, in this article, they said that basically they had a double beat, and they had tons of cash sitting around. So let's take a look at what they actually said. So they say here, this is the most important thing, they did have a pretty large decrease in deposits. So they had deposits of $104.5 billion, down 35.5%. But then they had this little footnote here. Deposits were down 40.8% from December 31, 2022. Deposits at March 31 included $30 billion of time deposits received from other large U.S. banks. So it's not actually their bank that brought this in. So that means if they were down 35.5% at $104.5 billion, they had 162, give or take. And without that 30 billion, they're actually down to about 74.5. So they're actually down about 55% since last quarter in deposits. That's really bad. So here they say that there was kind of an overreaction that they had 45.1 billion. Well, 30 billion of that isn't really theirs, it sounds like. So I wouldn't be surprised if that eventually went away. And now we're hearing rumors that bankers are working with First Republic Bank and they expect the government to seize the bank. bankers working with FRC expect government receivership after it exhausts private sector solutions. Officials at the big banks believe the feds were poised last week to take over FRC just before its earnings announcement crushed shares per Fox Business News. Now, who knows whether this is correct, but I would not be surprised. When we've seen so many bank runs, I think they're being a little bit cautious. They don't want more runs on U.S. banks. They want to step in a little bit faster rather than slower. And obviously, there's a lot of pain here. If we're down 50% in a day after a double beat, obviously investors know there's some blood in the water and they don't want to have anything to do with this bank. People will not buy it. There's no one that's willing to buy it right now as it's falling down. I think that's mostly because it looks like there's a bank run. Like we said, over 3 months, they had over 50% of their 50% of their deposits withdrawn. So I would not touch a stock, but this is good for crypto. It shows, hey, even when we think things are fine, even when it seems like the government's going to step in, maybe you're not exactly safe, right? Maybe you want some kind of hedge in Bitcoin or cryptocurrency that can get you away from fiat, because the government and bankers and everyone that controls the money supply is going to continue to be greedy to put themselves in the best possible position for themselves. They're not looking out for the well-being of everyone, unless it actually furthers their own agenda. So have a hedge, in my opinion, with Bitcoin. That's just, again, my thoughts. But let's move on to some other news. Binance US has made the difficult decision to exercise its right to terminate the asset purchase agreement with Voyager. While our hope throughout the process was to help Voyager's customers access their crypto in kind, the hostile and uncertain regulatory climate of the U.S. has introduced an unpredictable operating environment impacting the entire American business community. We are focusing on creating a safe platform where customers can participate in the digital asset economy. Basically just saying, hey, it's not worth it to get tangled up with the government at this point. They've made it too difficult. There are too many things going on here. SEC, Gary Gensler, they're not making it easy for us to play this game. So I understand why they're doing this, at least I understand what they're saying. Hopefully, the assets are returned to the people that were owed to them. Voyager basically said, hey, this means that we're going to be able to give out assets as quickly as possible. This is going to be quicker because we're basically going to take all our assets and then pay out as much as we can. So hopefully people get their money back and they get as close to a dollar for dollar payment as possible. But we'll have to see how it all shakes out. Of course, it would have been nice to see Binance just go through with this, but they are a pretty big company, and I think they're trying to continue to be able to work in the capacity that they work now and not be pushed out of the US like a lot of other crypto companies. Let me know your thoughts on this underneath the video, though. Thank you so much for watching. Are you touching FRC stock? Are you just watching from the sidelines like I am, thinking it's pretty interesting? Let me know. It also affects how likely the Fed is to continue to raise rates, because obviously as they raise rates, it puts these banks in a worse and worse position with their long-term treasury bonds. Let me know down below in the comment section. If you've made it this far, put a money bag emoji underneath the video. Thank you so much. Hit subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.